Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another JC2K video. Today we are going to be doing episode 11 of I Build Your Teams, the series where I build teams submitted to me on Twitter by my followers into the best teams possible for unlimited and competitive play based on the amount of MT that they have, the generation of the game that they play on, and their play style. So if you want to be involved in a future episode of this video, make sure you follow me on Twitter. My link is always down in the description of every video for my Twitter and my Twitch. Make sure you go follow me on Twitch as well. I stream pretty much every single day. So if you want to go hang out with me over there as well, I would appreciate if you follow me over there as well. But to be included in a future episode of the video, follow me on Twitter and then be on the lookout on Friday nights for a tweet about this series because I record on Saturday morning. So I put out a tweet Friday nights for this series every single Friday night. So if you want to be included in a future video, make sure you respond to that tweet with your team. But without further ado, let's hop right into it and take a look at this team. So the first team today is 200 KMT next gen pick and pop rim running. He's got a really nice team. Looking at this team, there are a couple positions that I would look to upgrade personally. With 200 KMT, I would look to probably free up a little bit more MT is the first thing I would do. And the way that I would do that is by picking one of these centers and selling whichever one you like the least of these three. Anthony Davis, Shaquille O'Neal, and Wilt. For me personally, that would be Wilt. So I would move Anthony Davis to the backup center, or start Anthony Davis center, move Shaquille to the backup center. And then at that point, what I would do is I would pick up Bol Bol. He's cheaper than Wilt. He's better than Wilt on next gen. Play Bol Bol at power forward position. He's the best power forward in the game on next gen. 7'2", can curry, slide, amazing dribble six. He's ridiculous. I would do that and then have AD and Shaq as your centers. And that will free up about 100 KMT for you, I would estimate. At that point, what I would be looking to do with around 300 KMT is pick up a point guard. Either Lonzo Ball or Grant Hill, or even Penny Hardaway. One of those three guys I think would be who I'd look to pick up at the point guard position. And then I would look to pick up a shooting guard. Somebody like DeMar DeRozan or Trevor Ariza even would be a really nice option at the shooting guard position. Those three positions are the positions that I would look to upgrade on this team personally. Pick up a Bol Bol, pick up a point guard like Grant Hill, or Lonzo Ball, or even Penny Hardaway. And then a shooting guard like Trevor Ariza if you want to go cheaper, or DeMar DeRozan if you have enough MT left to go for one of the more expensive shooting guards. At that point, I think you got a much better team, and I would potentially sell this Luke Store and Alexis Pokusevski as well, just to get some more MT unless you're actually using these cards. So that's kind of what I would look to do on this team personally to upgrade it. Next team comes in from my guy Firestorm. He's been in previous episodes of this video, but he says he's on next gen 450k. He's Malcolm Brogdon badged out. I'm wondering if he meant current gen, because typically he plays on current gen, but he meant next gen right now. I really don't know. But this picture was taken on current gen. So either way, I think Chris Bosh is overrated for his price. And Malcolm Brogdon, like, he's a third point guard. I guess you could keep him. He's not expensive, but I might look to sell him because you have two better point guards here. But your shooting guard position is fine. Your small forward position is fine. I like you having Kukoc at the power forward position. I would sell Chris Bosh and pick up Bol Bol. You're making MT. You're going to be at 500k MT, and you're going to have a better power forward option in Bol Bol. Next thing I might even, with the tokens, I might even pick up Showtime and Clamps from the badge market to put on Bol Bol, because that makes him just ridiculous now. Those are available in the token market. And then looking at your center position, you're going to be sitting on 500,000 MT, so you can make a move here. You can sell Mo Bamba, you can move D-Rob to your backup center, and you can pick up a guy like Anthony Davis, Shaq, or Wilt Chamberlain, one of the top three centers in the game, and that would make your team a lot better if you want to do that. At that point, you'll still have, if you pick up, for example, Wilt, you'll still have probably 300,000 MT. You could then look to potentially sell Penny Hardaway, pick up a guy like Grant Hill, or even save your MT and potentially have the ability to get Ben Simmons in the near future. Those are just upgrades that I would be looking to do with this team personally. Next team comes in from Sammy Not Sauce. He's got 700Ks on next gen. Nice blurry picture. I like it, but I can't make out who the cards are, obviously. So I really like your starting lineup on next gen. I don't really think anything needs to change. I like Lonzo, RJ Barrett, Jonathan Isaac. I like Millsap, and I like Wilt Chamberlain. You don't have a bad 10-man at all. There's really nothing that needs to go. But looking at this team, immediately, if I was going to make changes, I would look to replace Paul Millsap. I think he's the first guy who needs to go. And the way that I would probably personally look to do that is with 700k, pick a power forward. I mean, whether it's Thon Maker, Giannis, somebody like that. I would say probably Thon Maker, and look to play him maybe as your starting small forward. Move Danny Ferry to your backup small forward, Jonathan Isaac to your backup power forward. You make that change, I think this team is going to come together a lot better, and you'll still have a lot of MT left for future content. But that's really the only change that I would be looking to make with this team personally. Next team we got comes from my guy Alfonso. He says he's got a mid team, but he's about 400k. But he calls a team mid, but he's got a very solid basis to this team. I like his point guards, kind of. I like his shooting guards, like his small forwards, like his power forwards. His centers are decent as well. So with 400k KMT, you do have enough flexibility to make some pretty decent changes on this team. One thing I would look to do immediately is I would look to pick one of these point guards. I don't know who you like more of, JR or Ron Harper, but pick one and put them at your backup, and then go pick up a guy like Lonzo Ball to start at point guard. You make that change, I think it's not going to cost you an insane amount of MT, and it will definitely improve your point guard position. The next thing I would look to do is I would look to pick up a Bol. Maybe use your tokens to buy Showtime and Clamps and put them on Bol to make him just like incredible. But pick up a Bol and either put him as your backup power forward or start him at power forward and move Kukoc to the bench. Either one. You make those two changes, I think it's probably going to cost you around 150 KMT. You'll still probably have around 250 KMT and a much improved team. At that point, you can sit with your centers the way they are, but if you also want to, you can pick up a guy like Wilt Chamberlain or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to make another upgrade to your team if you want to spend your MT. You'll have enough MT left to do that. That is up to you, obviously, but I might consider doing that. But honestly, I think this team's a good team. I think you have a really nice foundation for your team. All right, the next team in this video is a little bit of flex team. It says no money spent. Replaced Rudy with Isaac, DeMar with RJ, so we got to remember that. But if he's no money spent with 1.6 mil, I mean, more power to you. That's impressive. So Ben Simmons, KD, Jonathan Isaac, Bol, Wilt. Nothing wrong with that starting lineup at all. Grant Hill, RJ Barrett, Tony Kukoc, Giannis, David Robinson. Again, nothing wrong with that. Kawhi, JR, and Jarrett Culver are, in my opinion, the last three, so I'm just going to ignore them because they're reward cards. Those are kind of last three players I'm going to deal with your 10-man. So, looking at that 10-man, the position that I would definitely potentially look to upgrade is your backup center position. I don't think D-Rob is bad, but I would look to either go after Shaquille O'Neal or Anthony Davis, whichever one you think is better, that you think you would prefer. You have the MT and the flexibility to do it, and if you upgrade your center position, that's going to make your team a lot better, in my opinion. The next position I would consider looking to upgrade, I mean, I would say potentially look to maybe fit Thon Maker in this team somewhere, but if you have Jonathan Isaac, Tony Kukoc, Bol, Giannis, you want to save your MT, I mean, I don't think you need him at all. That's really the only major upgrade I think that I would make, is I think D-Rob's a little bit limited compared to a guy like Shaq or AD. That's really the only upgrade that I would look to make personally, though. I think your team is really, really good. You have a lot of MT. You're in a really, really good place with your team. Next team comes in from my guy Jordan McLaughlin, Burner. He's been in a previous episode of this video. 450 KMT Magic is fully badged with Hall of Fame Showtime. Looking at this team, he says he's on current gen, and his starting lineup is fine. His bench has some good pieces and some guys that I would look to get rid of. I know he says his Magic is fully badged with Hall of Fame Showtime, but I would sell him and get as much MT as you can for him. I don't know how much MT that is. I'm going to estimate about 100k. So I'm going to estimate you have 500k, 550k MT. So you'll have somewhere between there. So with 550k MT in this tier, I'd pick up Wilt Chamberlain, move D-Rob to the bench center to replace Jaren Jackson. That's the first upgrade I would like to do. Second upgrade, I think your 2s are fine, your 3s are fine. You got to pick up a point guard, either Lonzo Ball or Grant Hill. If you want to go a little bit more expensive, get the better point guard, the better defensive option. Get Grant Hill. You can start him, put Penny off the bench. If you want to go a little cheaper, still really, really good card. Lonzo Ball is a great option as well. And then you'll still have, I would estimate, close to 250,000 MT would be my estimate. At that point, you have the ability to pick up a guy like Jonathan Isaac as well. You could play Jonathan Isaac at the 3 right here and move Kuroko to the backup 3, Tony Kukoc to the backup 4. I mean, you make those 3 additions, you pick up Lonzo Ball, Jonathan Isaac, and Wilt, for example. I think you're making this team a lot better. Definitely making pretty significant upgrades. You can even pick up Trevor Ariza for Kawhi as well. I think Ariza's better than Kawhi. Kawhi's not bad, but Ariza's super cheap, and I think he's the better card. Next team coming in from my guy Trent. He says he's got Lowry in place of Spida. 30k-ish on PS4. So we're looking at Penny Hardaway, Kyle Lowry, Ron Harper, Zach LaVine, Rudy Gay, Tony Kukoc, Jaren Jackson, Miles Turner, Bol. Okay. Sorry. Looking at this team, with 30k, there are some guys that I would definitely recommend finding a spot to fit in this lineup. And I think Ron Harper is actually okay at the 2, considering you're running Lowry right here. When you have a 30k budget, I would move Ron Harper to your backup 2, and I'd pick up Trevor Ariza right here. Super cheap, super good card. The next upgrade I would do is I would move Tony Kukoc to your backup 4, and I'd pick up Robert Covington right here at your backup 3. I think those 2 budget guys are super good. Will help your team compete at a lot higher level without costing you a lot of MT at all. The next thing you could look to do is I would pick either whichever one you prefer of Miles Turner and Yusuf Nurkic. Play them as your backup center. Take the other one out of your lineup, by the way, when you make that change. I would switch Jaren Jackson Jr. and Bol Bol. And then I would consider picking up a guy like Mohamed Bamba to play the backup center instead of Miles Turner and Nurkic. So that would give you a team of what? Penny Hardaway, Trevor Ariza, Rudy Gay, Bol Bol, Jaren Jackson, Kyle Lowry, Ron Harper, Robert Covington, Tony Kukoc, and Mohamed Bamba. I think if you build that team, you have a lot better team. Definitely a lot of options that you can still work on to improve. I would definitely try to save your MT, work on building up a little bit more of an MT stack. But for the time being, I think if you make those 3 upgrades, it'll make this team a lot better. Next team comes from my guy Zeno, or I probably pronounced that wrong. I apologize if I did. But he says this team is all badged out. Pete's got half showtime, Marie's got half range, Bull has half claims, 800 KMT. So 800 KMT is a lot of MT flexibility to work with. I'll be honest, I don't know how good this Bill Walton is. I'm gonna assume he's pretty good if you're starting over Bull, so we're gonna keep him in the lineup as well because he's free. Now, Pete Maravich is the other Dark Matter token reward, which, by the way, credit to you for grinding both of these token rewards out. But I would, at this point, even though Pete has half showtime, I just think on current gen he's a little bit undersized. I would rather have somebody else at the point guard position, especially with 800 KMT. And with 800 KMT, you know what? What I would do, go get yourself a Ben Simmons to play point guard, and go get yourself a Wilt or Shaq to play your backup center, or to start at center and move Kareem to your backup center. You make those 2 upgrades, your team's a lot better. You got a cop level elite team if you make those 2 upgrades. So really, I think it's pretty simple, honestly. Go get the best point guard in the game and one of the best centers in the game. Team's gonna be looking amazing. You have the MT to do it. Final team of the day comes in from my guy Adrian. He says he plays on PS4. He's got 173 KMT. So looking at this team, if you like Kevin Porter Jr., I would move him to the backup point guard position. I think John Morant is just too small. I think with the amount of MT you have, you might as well just sell him and replace him with somebody else. So if you want to replace him with Kevin Porter Jr., that's fine. If you like KPJ, just move him to the backup point guard position. There's your point guard set. The next thing I would do is, I'm assuming you're running Kukoc at the 4, Jaren Jackson at the 5 off the bench. It's kind of hard to see since you don't have this aligned as a 10-man who your team is, but I'm assuming your bench right now is Ja, DeMar, Rocco, Kukoc, Jaren Jackson. So I'm going to ignore Sloan, Ron Harper, Julius Randle. So with 173 KMT, you sell John Morant, you sell Chris Bosh. Just sell this Bosh card. Sell those 2 cards. You're going to be sitting at, I don't know, 375K, something along those lines. You then have the ability to, I would say, move to DeMar DeRozan right here. Pick up a Trevor Ariza as your backup shooting guard, and pick up a guy like Jonathan Isaac to play that 4 to replace Chris Bosh. He's better than Bosh. And I think you're sitting with a lot better team right there. You could still pick up a guy like Wilt Chamberlain as well to play the center position, move Bol Bol to your backup center, or take Jaren Jackson out of your lineup. I think you make those few upgrades, you got an amazing team. But that is going to do it for this video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, let me know what you thought of the video, and make sure that hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Try to hit the 1,400 subscriber mark in the very near future, and I'd really appreciate your support in helping me get to that. But yeah, I will be back with some more 2K content very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.